Hello, Star Wars fans. My name is Jeremy, and welcome back to Star Wars Legends and Canon. Today, I am going to be doing my TV series review over Star Wars Rebels, which has become one of my favorite shows of all time. Like, not 5 minutes ago did I finish the last episode of season 4. My mind is still reeling from this show because I started watching this show before I watched Clone Wars. I've seen probably about the first like half. I've seen about half of the first season, and I do really enjoy it. And before all the Darth Vaders and lightsabers and Yodas are attacking the screen, I am going to say something quite controversial in the TV show Star Wars universe, and I'm gonna say I love this show so much more than Clone Wars. You can hate me, you can dislike, unsubscribe, but I think I really like the time period this is set. This show, for the most part, this show is set 5 years before A New Hope, and the Empire is in full swing of their domineering and controlling and everything. So we're gonna be kind of doing step by step. I'm gonna tell you a very brief synopsis of each season. I'm gonna try because I watched them all, so they all kind of molded together. So I might be a little vague. But the first season, I had all 4 seasons before I even started watching this. I watched a clip on YouTube of a scene, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's really, really good!" And it was from this season, so I was like, "All right, fine." And so I watched the first episode, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! I'm addicted!" And I had to keep watching the next episode, and then the next one, and then I blew through the first season with no problem, and then I binge through the other 3 with no problem. I loved it. My current favorite seasons, like favorite seasons of the show, are seasons 1 and 4. Those are my top 2 favorite seasons. If I had to pick one favorite season, no matter what, it would be season 4, hands down. I think they did a fantastic. I started okay. The season is 15. Season 4 was 15 episodes. I started it yesterday around like 10 o'clock in the morning. I watched the first 14 episodes all day yesterday. No socialization. It was watched, and it was very much enjoyed, and yeah. So I was literally screaming at my TV when I first watched the first season of this show because the characters, the things that happened were so awesome and so amazing, and I was just in love. I was in love with the show. Um, we have an amazing cast of characters. We have Ezra, who is this guy. Then we have Zeb, Hera, Kanan, and oh my god, I'm horrible. What's her name? Sabine. There we go. You think, yeah. But basically, what I most loved about the first season of the show is it had a very Firefly-esque feel to it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It really follows, the show for the most part follows the Ghost crew, and they are very much against the Empire. They basically just go wherever help is needed in the galaxy, and it felt very Firefly to me, very much from what the Serenity crew was doing. Very different, circumstances, of course, but I really enjoyed the story that it told. We have this, character that's for the most part almost an orphan at this point. He's lived on his streets his whole life. He has no idea where his parents are. Are they alive? Are they dead? He doesn't know. And then he kind of bumps into these characters from the Ghost, and we get to see that Ezra is force sensitive, so once Kanan once the Ghost Crew decides to let Ezra tag along to their little family, Kanan agrees to train Ezra to be a Jedi, and it's awesome. And then we have an enemy, which is the Grand Inquisitor, who is awesome. He's such an awesome villain for the season. And but you have to understand, it's been probably about three weeks. It's been about a good 2.5 weeks, or maybe 3 weeks since I've seen the season. Okay, well, no, it's been like a month, but this was so good. And we have Agent Cullis, which is another one of my favorite characters that's in this entire show. That was a blast to be a part of. Yes, so if you have been a little bit skeptical, there's 15 episodes for the first season. Watch the first two because it's a two-parter opener, and you're gonna be hooked. Because I was. Season 2 is very interesting because at the end of the first season, Ezra gets his own lightsaber, but it's very weird lightsaber. Hold on, I have let's see if I can find it in here. I have a Disney Infinity character of Ezra, and it shows his lightsaber. If I can find him in here. And I bought it before I ever even watched Star Wars Rebels, to be honest with you guys. Give me just a second. There we be. Sorry about that. I have a lot of Disney, but basically this is the lightsaber that he has, and this is basically Ezra. So basically that is his lightsaber, and it has this hilt thing on it, so it actually works as a blaster as well, which I was like, that is awesome. But anyway, we actually get Darth Vader in this season for a few episodes, which is also voiced by James Earl Jones, which is the coolest thing since like sliced avocado bread. That's not a thing. I'm just being random. But we also get Ahsoka in this season, and this kind of continues the events of that. And, you know, Ezra and his training just continues with this, and it's really fun how with each season time continues to pass. Season 3 was a very interesting season because a lot of the characters are basically pushed to their absolute limits, and it was very, very interesting. And then these characters are pushed to their absolute limits even more so in the 4th season. So basically, we follow these characters for 5 years because for the most part, the closer and closer that with each passing season, it gets closer to where A New Hope. It's getting closer to that. And then the epilogue of sorts of the last episode of season 4, so the series finale essentially actually goes beyond the Battle of Endor. And I was like, that is so cool. And to have what happened. There's also a major death of one of these characters that happens in this show, and I won't say what season it is in, or what episode. I'm planning on rewatching at least the first couple seasons and then doing season reviews where I will review each season and just tell you all the things, like what my favorite episode of the show was, because this is definitely a show that I am like addicted to, and I'm very sad that I have finished it. But I'm really thinking about buying the show on Blu-ray. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with my DVD copies of it or anything, but the show is so fantastic. I think it would be really great to have it on Blu-ray. But I would say that if you're contemplating picking this, or, I don't know if Netflix or Hulu has the show, but I think Amazon and Walmart.com and Barnes & Noble all have the first season for like $12 or around that range. It's a pretty good price. I bought mine for $20 when around the time it first came out, and Then when season 2 came out, I bought that, and then I bought season 3. I actually bought season 3 when I found out that Rebels had aired its last episode, and then I was just waiting until season 4 came out, and then I finally bought it. And I wouldn't allow myself to start watching it until the whole series was out, and I'm so glad that I did, because it would have killed me to have to wait for the next season to come out. So I'm glad that I watched the whole show when it was all when it was all over and all the DVDs had come out. So I know I didn't really say a lot in this series review, but I think why I prefer this so much more than Clone Wars is because of the timeline and the characters. You know, I like that this is set after Revenge of the Sith. It's set 5 years before A New Hope. I like that timeline of in between, and I love stories set there. And I think I also really connected to a lot of these characters, and it's actually really refreshing that we have two main female characters, because in Star Wars we don't really get a lot of female characters that are we have Hera and Sabine, and they're both incredibly strong, kick-ass female characters that don't need rescuing. They're very, very amazing characters that you just love, and you're always rooting for them. I love how artsy Sabine is, because I used to paint when I was in high school and things like that. And I love how, like, generally Hera is, and I love how that she is, the pilot of the Ghost, and she's just an amazing character, and all these characters have gone through so much in their lives. And I think the ending of the series is very, very rewarding, because at the beginning of the season we feel like, at the very beginning of the show, it kind of feels like we are meant to believe that these are the people that are going to bring down the Empire, and yet that's not what the show is about. The show was never meant for them to actually take down the Empire. This whole show is mainly about trying to free the planet Lothal, and they do that. They do that very well, and I think that if you are a Star Wars fan, there are some cameos. So we do have a appearance of Obi-Wan Kenobi in here. We have an appearance of Darth Vader, of the Emperor, of a little bit of Palpatine. Ahsoka Tano is in this a little bit as well. So we do have cameo appearances from very famous Star Wars characters. Yoda has a little bit of a role to play in random spots, and it's just a really cool show. I think that it's very fun, and it's very even though this is like a kids show, in theory, technically, I got so much out of this. It kind of taught me to do what's right, and don't be afraid to rise up and speak the truth, no matter what others think. And I think that's a really nice message that kids can learn as well. I think adults can get a lot out of the show just as well as kids, because I got a lot of enjoyment out of this, and like literally I was like freaking out in front of that TV the whole series, because a lot of things happened that I wasn't expecting. And that was really fun. It's always fun when you can find a series that you're not expecting to be completely blown away by. And there's also a droid that's named Chopper, which is hilarious. The things that he does to Ezra and Zeb in the first few seasons is absolutely hilarious. So I think I've kind of said my piece on the show, and I will see you guys next time with another video. I think I'm going to be doing a Star Wars book haul, or just a haul of books. I might be doing that in maybe next week or the week after. I don't know yet. I do have a good number of Star Wars books on my shelf over there. So I will see you guys on hopefully next Monday, this upcoming Monday. And until then, may the Force be with you. Bye.